Good evening, welcome to Rangers Radio. Join myself, Fox, here on the show this evening. There's the good, the bad, and the ugly. How we doing, gentlemen?
Evening, Ox. I'll take that one. Thanks very much for having me on. Good to be on.
I'll jump in and go second, then I'll go for the bad. Good evening, all.
I'll just take it as everybody. Please welcome to Rangers Radio. Everybody listening all over the world, welcome to Rangers Radio.
How are you, Jaffa? Are all the festivities over in the Jaffa household?
Yep, all completed, all done. The 12th was lovely, Ox. Thanks very much for asking. It was great, yep. Thanks. Looking forward to the new season. Can't wait for it to start. There's a lot to talk about on Rangers Radio. Free Rangers Radio, remember.
Yeah. How are you, GB? How are you doing? Busy at work, mate?
Busy, mate. Busy and walking, mate. So, nothing much else for it.
Oh, that overtime he's getting bridged by now.
So I'm hearing. I don't want to say too much about it.
He's blushing.
It must be that Scott Wright hairdo that I've got that's pulling it off.
Scott Wright. Are you sure it's no Tony Goals?
I'm gutted, Docs. I'm gutted. The big man's away.
Listen, we'll start with that then. What's your thoughts, Jaffa?
I think, to be honest, Ox, it probably makes a lot of footballing sense for him to move on with what we've signed, and I take it there's probably still things ready to happen. Antonio Cholak was good for us for the most of the season. He was there before Michael Beale came in. Seemed to fade away out of the team and out of the picture. I know he had a bit of an injury as well, but big man goes with, I'm sure, with most of the fans' best wishes, or all of the fans' best wishes. He scored goals. He got us to the Champions League last season. That can't be argued. But I think the money what we got offered, Docs, at $2.5 million, if reported, if that's correct. I don't think we could ever turn that kind of money down. We got our money back, and if it's allowing us to finance another deal elsewhere for somebody younger, Big Cholak's he'll be on his 30th birthday shortly. So for me, I think that's good money, and it seems to suit all parties. So it seems like a correct business decision and a correct football decision as well.
Sorry, I was very remiss of me. How are you, Bridge?
I'm doing very well, thank you, Oxshire. Very well, thanks. Everything's fine in the Bridgeman's household.
Good, mate. Good. Right, come on, GB. Let's hear you.
That sounds as if you're dreading it. No, Ox. He's a goal scorer, wasn't he? The first 7 games of the season. Last season he was on fire, and just obviously injury, the change of manager affected him and stuff like that. And I think he would have been a good guy to have his backup, but unfortunately, I think you'll probably agree that he wasn't really a great substitute. For us, he wasn't a guy that was good at coming off the bench. He was better probably, like I said, starting. But as Jaffa says, Ox, I think it's probably good footballing business. We've got money back for him. There's been good for both sides with the club and Cholak. We've treated him right, and he's treated us right, and there's been respect there. And we've done it professionally, and the boys moved on. He's happy. I would imagine the manager's happy, and the money can get reinvested in the first team. So he goes with our best wishes, mate.
Aye, how do you see it, Bridge?
Yeah, delighted for Cholak. I think I thought first 4 or 5 months he was absolutely excellent, but unfortunately a wee bit injury, and then the change of manager, and all these things start to weigh on your mind. And then you pick up another wee knock, and so on and so forth. So very pleased for him. He's managing to get out, and pleased for the club, because if they get supported, in other words, they're going to make some money out of it. As little as it is, but we're not going to lose money. That's a big bonus to us. The boy Wright, I don't know if you're going to speak about him, but
it's one at a time, Bruce. Just one at a time.
I'm happy with that then. I'm happy with the Cholak situation.
We'll go straight to the tune and we'll finish the show one at a time.
Right, bud.
Yep. Right, so he's a player that came into his Jaffa, played well, scored goals, yeah, which is 2 different things. You're right, in the business sense, it looks to me roughly we've recouped his wages plus the transfer fee we've paid. So it's neutral, so we've got that wages to reinvest. And someday, you say younger, I'm going to say hopefully better.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think Michael Beale would see it that way as well, Ox, and I agree with I think everybody's sentiments. Big Cholak scored goals. If you got the ball to him in the box, he 9 times out of 10 he would put the ball away. That's a great quality to have. It's a great knack. He was good for us, and I agree with what Gary says. He never ever impacted a game when he came on as a substitute. And the way what we're going with the forward line and what it looks like, the way Michael Beale's starting to, build the team and set the team up with Dessers, with Sammers, with Sam Lammers coming in, and if all being well, Ox, if this boy from Feyenoord can get that over the line, then I don't know how much game time Antonio Cholak was going to get, and I suspect that's probably what's been reiterated to him. But listen, he was a decent player for us, but I agree with you, Ox. I think the forward line has to be better and more clinical. I always remember Michael Beale saying on many occasions how wasteful we were in the final third, and that was an absolute fact. So that's certainly the area of the pitch that we need to get better at, and if we score more goals, you win more matches.
Right. I think you're also right, GB, when you said he goes with our best wishes. I think he does. I think the way he conducted himself, I read something that Michael Beale was saying. He came and thanked everybody, and it was a class act from start to finish. He always came across as a gentleman, a bit like myself.
Oh, well, jury's out on that one. Ox, it was even when you're watching the pre seemed to give 100% when he was in training and stuff like that. And to be honest, the times that he was on the park, he was giving 100%. It just sometimes I think when Beale came in that he was a good player, but in the wrong team kind of thing, the wrong setup. Probably any other manager that's probably got to set up as maybe a 4-4-2. Cholak's probably got to be a brilliant signing for him. You probably find that Parma are probably a winner with him, because if they set up and play him right, they'll get goals off him. You know what I mean? I just think Beale's looking for the all-round striker, and he can play in different positions, track back, and finish as well. And I think Cholak was kind of that guy that could only finish.
Aye. It's not a bad attribute you have, but Bridges is a goal scorer, is it?
No, I like the guy. I like the way he played, and it wasn't fair to have a go. Made a big difference. It looked as if he was going to be in the right place at the right time every time he came on the pitch and went near the area. So I liked him, and the guys round about me, all my family boys all liked him. Thought he was going to be a massive big goal scorer for us, but unfortunately it didn't turn out for him like that. So, but no, I think whomever gets him is going to get a guy with a chance. Give him a chance and let him go on. You'll see a big difference in the boy, a big difference. It may be down to what Jaffa says, that it's going to a change of shape. A team is going to put a shape together that will suit Coach Cholak, and that'll probably work for him.
Right. We all agreed he goes with our best wishes, yes?
Oh, yes.
Yes, 100%.
100%.
GB, are you picking up? There seems to be positive vibes coming out. I know I'm maybe reading too much into it, but that's what I'm feeling. Or is it just the optimism of a new season, mate?
No, I think there is a lot of good going on around about the club the now, Ox. I think, like I says, with on and off the pitch, I think, like I says, you're seeing the development of a new bar in place at Ibrox. Like I says, the new tops are out. Pre-season games are getting sold out. And like I says, the team as well, when you're seeing the pre-season videos and stuff like that, there seems to be a good harmony there, and I think the manager's done well with taking them away to a place where they can bond. And for what I've seen of the wee kind of friendly game they had there in Germany, there seems to be a good cohesion with the players. So that's his positive vibes, and hopefully that continues into tomorrow night.
Yeah, sorry.
This is the point, Ox, of the season, when all the hard work gets done in the background, and the style of play, and the what's expected of the players, and what what we're expecting from each individual as well, not just as a team collective, but as individuals, and from the management as well, and how they're going to be coached. And that's why these pre-seasons are so important. There is, I agree with you, Oxford, there's a lot of the players talking up Michael Beale's style, what he's doing off the field, and we always know that was Michael Beale's strength, his coaching ability. And if he's been getting that message across, and he's got the type of players in that he sees fits into his type of system, then this is the time to do the hard work. It's until you see it in the flesh, Ox, it's always difficult, isn't it, to try and predict how they're going to play and what you're going to see. And then obviously when you get into sort of game 6 and game 10 of the SPFL, the league games, that's when you really start seeing the actual the whole structure and the narrative and the game, the style essentially that Michael Beale's going to put in, and the players then start responding to it and getting off to a good start. Is, I think, as we all know, is you can't put too much emphasis on that. It's absolutely important that we start winning games right from the day dot, and the players start believing in Michael Beale, because it's a two-way street. I think these situations, the players have got to buy into his ideas, and he's got to buy into the players. So it'll be good, and it's there's a lot happening as well, as Gary said, off the park. But on the park is where we ultimately want to see, and that's where the big changes have been. So I'm just keen to get the season started like the rest of us, and see what the team looks like.
Bridgeman, you had a few campaigns, didn't you? Are you feeling you feel the positivity?
Oh yes, I think positivity is sweeping through the Rangers fans at the moment. Obviously, you said earlier, the game tomorrow night is a sellout. 50,000. It's a thing for Alan McGregor. It's just amazing. The full stadium. Oh, I'm looking forward to it anyway. I'll be over there. First time at Ibrox for a long time. I'm recovering quite well, so I'm taking a chance and going. So I'm really going to look forward to it. I'm looking forward to the stadium, the way the stadium's looking, and the new pub that's getting built instead of the sale room. I think there's a pub in there. Is it in? Is it up yet?
Oh, it'll be next year, mate.
Next year, okay. So I'm looking forward to all that, and there'll be big changes at Ibrox over the next year or two, and that's for sure.
That'll be another pub for you to spend your money on.
That's it.
Right, so positivity, good thing. I mean, I know that Fox was looking for a lot of the German training videos, and it spent them about 8 hours before they found them, Jaffa, when they started Googling them in videos. But that's another story. Right, okay, so what about the boys were brought in? We've not seen much of them. Some have got a goal. Did you happen to see the header, JB? Good finish.
It was Ox. Could be the surprise, one of the surprise signings, to be honest, because it's been quite quiet. There's been more focus on talking to the captain, Cantwell, Lundstrom, and all that, and the kind of the wee videos you've been seeing for pre-season and that, and the boys kind of went under the radar a wee bit, but fantastic finish. And something that we've probably been lacking in the team, Ox, is more headers getting scored. So again. I think the manager's really, when he's been looking at these signings, he's looked in areas where we have been struggling, and I think if this boy's got to add that kind of to our weaponry, as they call it, then again, we're lacking goals, Ox, and for what I can see for the guys that he's bringing in, each of them can score, each of them have got assists in them, each of them have got goals in them. So hopefully we're not going to be reliant on Tav today, or it's going to be, the boys up front.
I think that's a great point that Holberg makes, Jaffa. You don't want your right back to be a top goal scorer.
No, it is a really valid point. I mean, you just can't have that all team. That's the centre forwards position, or the left winger, or number 10 if it's Todd Cantwell. Let's chip him in with 12 or 14 goals a season. I mean, listen, Tavernier, I think, he's just got a nose for goal, and that's a great quality to have as a right back. But yeah, fundamentally, he's a right back. I always think that should be the first part of his game, defending, and the rest of it should fall in behind that. And if he has a goal here or there, I know he's a penalty taker, so he's always going to get a shout on that. And he's a good penalty taker for us. He's very consistent, and long may that continue. But I agree, no, the right back shouldn't be your top goal scorer, never. I know it can freakishly happen, but in the main, your centre forward is the guy that should be chipping in, or your centre forwards if there's two guys that are playing in rotation and he's playing different systems. But and the wingers, of course. But aye, it'll be interesting to see how all that sets up. Certainly, looking at the guys he's brought in as well, Oxford's the one thing that strikes me throughout the majority of them is height, power, and pace. And that seems to be something that we've added in abundance, and long may it continue. Because I think we were very, very short on that, and desire as well. I think we know without going over all ground that quite a few of the guys had checked out and their lives had been averted elsewhere. So that's football. That's what happens. Getting fresh blood in is what it's all about, and giving guys a fresh start. And all as though they're on board, and that's great. We just want to turn it into matches now.
Bridgman, Tavernier interviewed, they said it's like the land of the giants. That must have been music to your ears.
Absolutely. I think the guys that were brought in, some of them well over 6 feet. The goalkeeper 6'5", and it's fantastic. It's just what I want to see. I want to see Rangers being really big, every position if we can get it. And obviously, you're going to have areas where a smaller person is better for you. But I like a big fella. I like to see big, tall fellas. I like to see him playing well. And that's what I want. Great chances for shall we say, any set piece at all. The big fellas have got a chance to get in and do it, The amount of throw-ins that we fail to win because of being out-jumped, it's quite incredible. Obviously, we don't want to talk too much about free kicks and corners, our weakest points, because we don't have the height or the concentration in there. But seriously, really happy that the goalkeeper's in, a big, tall fella, and that's what I want. I'm just disappointed that up to now, we haven't been out and bought the big 6'5" gorilla that I want for centre half, but we might do that yet.
Right, okay, so the news broke today, Jaffa, that Scott Wright is on his way. Any time now they have to deal. There's no signs yet, but he's maybe on his way to Turkey.
I think again, Ox, probably the right move for both player and for us. And if we're getting £500,000 for him, he came in to us as a free. Again, I think that's probably quite good business for the club to get recoup some money on him, reinvest it. Again, he never got much game time, both under Gio last year. I know he contributed and he had the odd decent game, but I mean, in the main, Scott Wright's he's not really in the picture. So I think for all intents and purposes, for everybody, it's probably the right deal, Ox, for Scott Wright and for us. He goes with our best wishes again, and he scored a cracking goal for us in the Scottish Cup final. He was part of the 55 team, and for that, I'm grateful for that part of it and his contribution. But overall, I don't see him as getting a lot of game time. I think Scott Wright would probably be way down the pecking order as the new season starts, with the guys Sima that we've brought in, and I suspect, with the amount of number 10s we've got, and Tom Lawrence as well back today, Ox, which was great in training to see as well.
One subject at a time, lads. One subject at a time.
Yep.
GB, Scott Wright.
Hi, Ox. I mean, we've got to miss the hair, haven't we? But we were watching them in that pre-season game there in Germany, and the boy has got pace and power, right? He can drive with the ball, but it just shows you the same old stuff with him. He gets into that box and he can't finish. His finishing is absolutely disgraceful, for a Rangers player, and that's how he's not had his chances. But what Jaffa said, funny enough, is that he has played in big moments for Rangers. He's scored like he says, that Scottish Cup goal, and he's had moments, like I says, he started the Europa League final and all that. He's been one of the players that you think's in the background, but yet he's featured in probably poignant moments, Rangers games the last couple of seasons. But he's just never grabbed the shirt from Ox, and unfortunately that's why he's getting moved on, because there's got to be better coming into the club. Hopefully, hopefully these boys have got to show that we're in another level. Scott Wright.
Listen, he's a forward player. He's been involved in 81 games. Yeah. 27 starts, 54 substitute appearances, 8 goals, Bridge. No offence to the boy, the numbers just aren't good enough.
Yeah, when he came from Aberdeen, I was heralding him as he's going to be a smashing player for us, and he's going to be a bit of pace down the wing and so on and so forth. Unfortunately, he's only done that a number of times. He's not done that very much and scored a very few goals. I thought what was going to happen with him, would hoped as well, is that he's going to be like Ryan Jack coming from Aberdeen, and he picked up on the challenges and got tore in and was one of the more key players for us. Admittedly, got a lot of injuries, but I'm afraid that Mr. Wright never ever got any injuries for chasing the ball anyway. So admittedly, the lad said he saw him in a couple of chances, great chances to forward his career, and his manner of play, show off his manner of play. I'm afraid he only done it in very few occasions, and well, good luck to him. That's all I can say. I think Turkey will eat him up. Did I say something wrong there?
Since that Scottish Cup final goal, Jaffer, I think he's been involved in 32 games, 8 starts, no goal.
I know, it's just, and that again, Ox, there'll be reasons why, as Bridge was saying there, he's, when you come to a club of our size, Ox, especially coming from a much smaller club like Aberdeen and coming into a massive institution like our club, that a lot of players think they've arrived, and that's not the case. That's just the start of it. That's the start of you being, or the dream that you had when you were a kid of playing at a stadium like Ibrox and going and travelling around Europe and playing for top teams and being recognised everywhere you go. Some players absolutely take to it like a duck to water, and other players they just can't get to grips with the pressure, I suspect, and probably the amount of character it takes to then go on and develop your career. I think Scott Wright, I think he's got great attributes as a player, but do you want to know something? I don't think he's improved, Ox, playing for us at any point. I don't think he's listened to either of the managers that he's played under, whether it have been Gerrard, whether it have been Gio, or whether it be now Michael Beale, and he's not taking the message on, because you're not telling me that they're not coaching him, and they're not saying when you get into the box, you've got your final ball's got to matter, and it has, and 9 times out of 10, his final ball doesn't matter, and that just isn't good enough at a club our size. And listen, good luck to the lad. I'm not trying to slate him here in any way. I just don't think he's the right fit of player and the right quality of player that we require at Glasgow Rangers.
It's simple for me. It's not a dug in a fight. It's a heart in a dug, Jaffer.
100%, Ox. Especially at our club, we know that. And there's players that have come over the years that absolutely just grow into the jersey and they become brilliant footballers. And we could go through hundreds of them. We could do a show on that ourselves, one night. But Scott Wright, he's just, I don't know if he's just not got the fight or the bottle or whatever it is, but to be a Rangers player. But I wish the lad well. I hope he goes on and proves everybody wrong. But he's had a great opportunity, and it's come to the end now. And good luck to him if he gets his move to Turkey. And listen, we've done well out of it from a business perspective, folks.
I think my lasting memory of Scott Wright, obviously the goal in the cup final. But if you think back, it looks as if Glenn Kamara's going to leave us potentially, maybe even this week as well. When he laid that ball off to Glenn Kamara against Leipzig for the second goal, I actually think that could have been the highlight of his Rangers career because of the importance of the goal.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, and incidentally, see when he got the ball that night, and I'll still remember the thought that went through my head. I'm shouting at him to hit it because I didn't think he should have laid it off, but he did lay it off, and obviously the goal came out of it, and so he was right in that instance. But more often than not, he took the extra pass, doesn't he? He always seems to, when he got into a really good forward position, as GB was saying there. He would get into great positions, but he never did. He didn't see the process of that move through, and he didn't create a goal scoring chance out of it. More often than not, he would turn back or turn into bother or lose the ball. And I'm afraid that just at top level football at our club, that's just not what happens. You've got to do the opposite from that.
GB, another player that will go with our best wishes, wasn't he a star? Wasn't he consistently good, but, you know, shake hands, you move on, yeah.
Aye, Ox, again, you can tell the boys loved his time at Rangers. I mean, and he's never been one of these guys that's upset the apple cart or anything like that. He's been in there and he's trained and stuff like that, and I've no doubt that he's tried his best. To be honest, he's probably the same level as Fashion, but Fashion's been clinical with his finishing, and as much as he's been sometimes erratic and stuff like that, that's how Fashion's probably got the nod in front of him, because he's able to put the ball in the back of the net more so than what Wright has, and that's what's lacking in his game. And like I say, that move, if he's getting it to Turkey, then like good luck to him, because he's only a winner there, because they'll not put up with a guy that can't finish or can't pass and stuff like that. But again, the boy, he was a fan. He came, he tried. And just unfortunately, at Ox, we just need to be at a better level. Coming into this season, we need boys that are coming into the wing. They need to make a deadly pass, or they need to put the ball in the back of the net. And that's just unfortunate for Scott Wright.
You mentioned Fashion Sakala there, GB. He's been involved in 91 games, 48 starts, 43 substitute appearances. He scored 24 goals. So ultimately, Fashion's numbers are not spectacular neither, you know. But I think he's a harder player to play against for 90 minutes than Scott Wright. So Scott goes, it looks like Brisbane. Another one with our best wishes. We shake hands, we move on. Happens, doesn't it? Jaffa?
Yeah, he does, Ox, and again, it's another example of trimming the fat off the squad.
The wage bill, it frees up wages, mate, doesn't it?
Yeah, it frees up wages, frees up numbers as well.
What do you think Scott Wright would have been on? What do you think?
$8,000 a week, $10,000 a week.
Yeah, maybe. So there you go. That's £500,000 a year towards somebody who's going to hopefully play consistently.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think again, Ox, I was just looking at the size of the squad still, and Scott Wright was still in when I was doing a wee bit of going through the team just the other night there. I mean, we're still sitting at 33 players. Michael Beale said he wants that down to a more workable number, whatever that is. I don't know whether that's 28 or 27, but the squad's bloated and there's a lot of people hanging about, and I think Scott Wright falls into that category, Ox. Wish the guy well, but we move on. I think we can do better than Scott Wright.
Yeah, I agree.
Well said.
Brisbane, you agree?
I agree 100%. It's there's some of the more positive things he did. They scored the goal, laid the one off for Kamara, and they were great, and I was so pleased for him. But he's never shone. There's the only time he's really shone. And Sakala, much the same. I don't know if you're ready to talk about Sakala, are you?
As I said, he's been involved in 91 games, Sakala.
Yeah.
And there's obviously rumours about him potentially leaving, but he's tweeted something that he's still on. But listen, you're going to hear a lot of speculation, Bridge. Yeah?
What you got for Sakala was, like, I have to say this, and no offence to Wright, but Sakala was 100 times better at virtually everything on the football park, challenging, all these things. Sakala had it in abundance better than that boy, Wright. He scored probably maybe treble a number of goals that Wright scored.
Exactly. Bridge 24 he scored, Wright scored 8. Yeah,
there you go. So I just think, I'm not saying Sakala's the best thing in the whole world, but he's had a far bigger impact and a better impact, and the fans expected what the fans got what they expected from Sakala. He would fight all day for the ball when he's playing, never give up, hammered it into defenders, and got to hammer himself sometimes. So I think Mr. Wright never did very much of that. So that way, Sakala was a more of a fan's favourite than Wright, for sure.
Well, I've said it before, in years to come, people have wondered who Scott Wright is and the team played in Civil GP. It's hard to believe.
I know, it's got to be one of the cracking quiz questions, isn't it? It's the same as the whole Alan McCoy's, what was Alan McCoy's first game at Ibrox and all that. That's another cracker. It's just, Aye, he's going to be an enigma, isn't he? Scott Wright. Like I says, nice enough guy. Ox again tried his best in the training, but I just think, like I says, we're just trying to move to another level of player. I think when he came in amongst Gerrard and stuff like that budgets were tight and we're just looking to try and add numbers to squads and hopefully add attacking options for the cheap. You know what I mean? And it was one of the ones. If it came off, brilliant. If it didn't, then we're no losing a lot of money at him. You mean? So I think, like I says, moving him on for 500k is a good bit of business, and everybody shakes hands and moves on into it.
I don't mind us taking a punt on the odd player, particularly Scottish players, to see if it works, Jaffa. You know, and they're not all going to come off, but you might uncover a few gems. You never know.
Absolutely, Ox. No, listen. It was from a footballing perspective at the time. It was the right decision. He came in on a free, and if he goes it for £500,000, the club have made the right decision business wise. I just go back to my point, Ox. If guys like Scott Wright are going to come in and get an opportunity to get, and it is a great opportunity to come into our club. There's literally hundreds of young footballers out there that would have given their right arm to have the opportunity to work with guys like Gerrard and listen to them and get training ground coaching from them. But I just don't think he improved, Ox. I don't think he ever got the message and really developed his game. And ultimately, that's what you've got to do. As I said, I think sometimes nowadays with modern footballers, they think when they get to the big club and they get the big contract, that's them. They've made it. That's only the beginning. That's only the start of it, because that's why you've been good enough to get there, to get yourself in the door. But you've really not. You've got to take it on to the next level. Just one wee thing there, Ox. You were talking about some stats here with Fashion Sakala. Does it give you those numbers at all, or do you have them to hand out? And what his assists are, Sakala's?
No, I've not got them, but I could try and find it, mate. Yeah.
Just out of curiosity, when you're talking about his numbers there.
Well, is that deliberate assists or
But I know we could talk about that all day. Probably both, actually, deliberate or no deliberate. But do you know the thing about Fashion that I think it's his best quality? His attitude is second to none. He fights for everything, and he's right up for it. And he absolutely. He gives 110% when he goes on the park. And I think sometimes as fans, that's all you ask, is just to put the effort in, just to put the dig in for the 90 minutes or the 85 minutes or whatever it is you're on the park. Look, I'm not for a minute here.
Steve Fashion Sakala's stats had read 27 goals, mate, and no the 24. And they goals would have been the one at Aberdeen and the two at Hampden and one in each game, mate.
I know.
We'd be looking at Fashion completely different, mate.
Yeah, and Ox, again, I go back to your point what you started with there, is if there is some if there's some interest in the background in Fashion Sakala, and I read something similar myself, that we're talking about maybe £3 or £4 million for him. Listen, if we get an offer in that region or anywhere close to that, he'll be off, and that's just the reality of it. Because again, he was a player that came in on a free, and it's the right business decision for the club. I'm sure of it.
I suppose we better get these phone lines open. But before, if that's all right with you, gentlemen, yeah?
Yeah, go for it.
But before the phone lines, I just want to hear a shout out to one of our regular listeners, Helen Barker, who's not the best at times, and this has been sent to me, a good friend of the show in Western Australia. I don't want to embarrass him by shouting his name, but I'm sure Helen will be able to work that out. Helen, listen, just to let you know that everybody here at Rangers Radio sends you the best wishes and hope everything goes all right for you. You know you're not the best at times and you're missing your Donald, but all the best. Keep your chin up and remember, we are the people. Let's hear from these.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972. It's your show. It's your platform. Let's hear from you.
Right, okay. There's a lot happening after park. Some good, some bad, some indifferent. People have thoughts on it. Jaffa.
Yeah, there is a lot happening off the park, Ox. Obviously, there's a lot of redevelopment going on at the lounges, and I can't remember the other part of the club I was in for Father's Day just a few weeks ago. Absolutely brilliant. Food was out of this world, I have to say. Marked improvement. Obviously, I've been over in Edmondson House a few times, Ox. It gets better by the visits, by the times that I've been in it. And obviously, as the boys were alluding to there, the sports bar has been, earmarked and is under construction, or plans are in place. I think they've been submitted. G51, I think, is what it's going to be called. So, yeah, there is a lot happening, Ox. There's a lot of infrastructural spend going on in and around the club. There's a lot of personnel changes. There's been essentially, it looks to me like a root and branch kind of dismantling of the boards and the footballing side and over at the training ground. And I think, to be honest with you, Ox, a lot of us maybe didn't want to see maybe just as many changes. But I think it had to happen. I think there was too many people getting cosy and getting comfy. And I think John Bennett coming in seems to have his way of how he wants to see it. And the early signs are, I agree with what he's done, but you've got to get the fruits of that, and we've got to see the proof of it on the park. And the only thing that's going to settle a lot of us is the winning of trophies, isn't it?
That's ultimately how everybody's judged at the club, Bridgeman, you can do all the right things for the infrastructure. You can do a lot of things for but ultimately you're judged on results on the football part. There's no good if you have a nice comfy seat if they don't win on the pitch, is it?
Well, we've been through some of that, and not in the past, they're not too distant past. And yeah, you're absolutely right. It's absolutely essential that we start to win well and get the fans to buy it and everything that we're doing. And the best way to do that is to win games. Win games, consistently win games, play better, all the rest of it goes with it. It needs to happen. Not to say that we're doing too bad in that way. I think this boy, Beale, is going to be. I think he's going to make a big difference again this season. He's got a great chance. Everybody's roaring and get us going, and it's going to happen as far as the fans are concerned. He's got a big deal to do. He's got to make it all happen on the pitch. And the players he's bought and seems to have brought in, they seem very good and be a good addition to the young lads that they brought in the new year. So I'm really looking, seriously, I can't say this often enough, I'm really looking forward to seeing Rangers in a new form, really new form on the pitch at Ibrox. And all these big fellas that were brought in, they need to be able to play football and do it. Just do it and let the fans be happy. Forever.
Remember when we league form at Ibrox last year, GB, we drew 2 games, mate. Our league form at Ibrox was fine, even results-wise, performance-wise, wasn't it great, eh?
No. And I think that's what the manager wants. The manager wants to give the fans entertainment football along with convincing wins. So I think it's... again, I said earlier, we've been lacking goals, and it's the players that he's bringing in have all got that in abundance, really, for what you can see. Maybe the previous clubs have not had great stats, but to be fair to them, they've been probably playing in teams where they've not always got the ball. And I think what I see these guys coming into Scottish football will have their eyes opened up, but they'll be, what I say is, I think with them having a lot of the ball and having been able to create chances after chance after chance, ultimately they're going to get goals, Ox. And again, that's where that will come, where we'll win trophies, etc., etc. And it's all big merry-go-round, Ox. It all goes into the one pot. If off the field stuff's all ticked the boxes, because I think like all the settlement stuff that we've done off field means that everybody can focus their energy on field. Like say, let's say the Australian thing, and then obviously the whole
that's
thing with it.
That's all gone. Put that to bed last week. They got the apology, and obviously they picked up the legal fees. GB, the Scottish Football League, or the SPFL. Yeah, so that's another one put to bed. People have an opinion that we touched on it briefly last week. Yeah. So things are moving on. Yeah, and we've been proved right. Hopefully, big things. Particularly the SPFL deal, Jaffa. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it didn't surprise me, Ox, that it came to that. I mean, obviously, the apology came and the acknowledgement that the league actually were wrong in what they'd done.
I think that apology came through teeth of gritted.
Oh, it was the wording of the statement. I chuckled at it. Should we Rangers feel that their reputation has been damaged? I mean, those very words. But anyway, I don't think the relationship there is all cosy again, Ox. I think that's a long way off that ever happening anytime soon. But from a legal standpoint, I mean, it's appalling, really, when you think what's happened and the league themselves actually doing that to one of their member clubs. But we know what's going on. We've spoke about it on the show, and obviously I know we can't often say what we really feel, but we know that there's dark arts at work. But it's good to get those things, because they are annoying, Ox, in the background. There's no two ways about it. There's people have to deal with stuff like that. There's lawyers involved. It takes resources away for getting on with doing good stuff, be doing positive things. So it is good that that's stopped. And obviously the Australian thing, as GB alluded to there, that's now been sorted as well. And I believe we've now got into a partnership with the organisers of that, and they're going to try and get some games in that part of the world, which will be brilliant for the fans over there, of which we have many, many, many thousands. So from that perspective, Ox, that's a good thing. And it lets the staff and the management side of the club focus on the real jobs in hand, which is, for me anyway, is the football department, and getting the club back into a fit and purposeful way, and the way they're doing with the stadium and all the jobs and the projects that they're involved in. But ultimately, Ox, as we go back and we often say it, the only thing that's going to matter is we need to win trophies. We've got to compete, because for me, too much last season, everything seemed to be going too quickly, and at our club we can never accept that, and that can never be accepted.
Yeah. All right, we'll get a game of football tomorrow night, GB.
Yeah, Ox, and a good visitor as well, coming up the road to play us. I think the top 4 teams in England last season. Sorry. I think it'll be one of the games where we might see a bit of a competitive game, maybe first half, and then maybe a not so much competitive game the second half. But no, I mean, full house. Ox, sold out for one of our best keepers ever. I mean, what a way to send a guy off.
No, a fitting tribute to one of our greats. Yeah. People have thought Sir Alan maybe went on a couple of years too long, and whatever. That's true, but he'd be one of our greats. Bridgman?
Oh yeah, 100%. Alan McGregor, marvellous player. From a Rangers perspective, it's just a pity of the problems that we had, and he was one of the ones that had to get out and leave. And it was really sad. And when he did in England, did his business down there, and then came back up to us, which I'm delighted about. And it's been great. He's been a pleasure to work with. Pleasure. Hope it lasts.
Yeah. We obviously had a 6-year hiatus, Jaffa, but I don't think his heart ever left Ibrox, did it?
No, he's a blue nose, Ox. He's one of us, isn't he? He's just one of the Bears, and he's been a blue nose all his life, and he lived the dream. He's often said that in interviews. And he is, again, the lads here, I think it's a testament that the stadium sold out, in the speed that it did, and everybody's going tomorrow night to wish Alan McGregor all the best, and he's, and whatever he does in the rest of his life, and also to say thank you to him for everything he's done for Rangers, because he has been brilliant, and that divides opinion, of course, but in the main, Alan McGregor has been absolutely one of our best goalkeepers of all time. He's in the Hall of Fame. He'll ever be a Ranger, and he's in our history books forever, both in video and various other ways, and how he handled himself through the club. Great Rangers player, absolutely epitomise everything it is to be a Rangers player. And tomorrow night, obviously, we're all going down there, most of us, to say thank you to him and to enjoy the game of football against what, as GB said, top 4 EPL team coming up to Scotland. They're bringing a brilliant support up with them as well. The Geordie boys are always loud, and they'll be looking forward to as well, seeing their team. They done tremendous last year, and they've got Champions League football to look forward to. So, no, the stadium will be bouncing tomorrow night, and I think it'll be a good chance as well to give us a first chance to look at some of your new players. So, anticipation and excited for the game tomorrow night, Ox.
What player, Jaffa, and then GB and Bridge can come in. What player are you looking forward to seeing?
I'm looking forward to seeing, obviously, the big boy Sam Lammers. I think looks a really gifted player, technical player, and I'm looking forward to seeing Dessers as well. I think he looks as though he's got a right eye for goal, and he's got a good nose, and he knows his way around an 18-yard box.
How are you playing the two of them, mate? How are you playing the two?
I'm not so sure he will play the two of them, but I think Lammers will be more of in a deeper role, because I think Lammers comes in for the ghost and in for the kind of Scotty Arfield into space. He's a late arriver into the box. I think Dessers will be up front. I think you'll see him starting, and I think you'll see Seema as well. I think you'll see quite a number of the new starts tomorrow night. It'd be good to see John Souttar again getting more football. Been liking a lot of what I've been seeing of John Souttar. So long may his well-being, and maybe even get a chance to see Kemar Roof. Who knows? You never know.
Yeah, maybe even a bit of Tom Lawrence.
Absolutely, Ox. I mean, Tom Lawrence, that's been it's but like getting a new player, isn't it? Considering how long he's been out. So Tom Lawrence, he looked brilliant last season, Ox. See the amount of the football that he played for us. I thought he was the best signing we made last year until that injury. I thought he looked brilliant.
Yeah. Who are you looking forward to seeing, GB?
Probably, do you know, Dowell's probably one of the ones I'm eager to see, Ox, because the training videos and the game over in Germany, you never really got to see much of him. And but for all the reports and stuff like that, the boy seems to be a decent player. And his interview as well, he gave to Rangers TV and stuff, that he talks about that he's an attacking player. He likes to take a shot for outside the box and stuff like that. Again, something that we've been lacking in the team. So it'll be good. Dowell's kind of another one that's came in under the radar, not much talked about and stuff like that. But again, we've got to remember he's came from Norwich. That's a championship challenging team, and what's his previous Everton experience as well. So I think this boy could be another surprise, and Cantwell rates him as well. So it'll be interesting to see if he gets a wee bit of game time and see how he is on the ball.
Bridgman, probably your good self, mate.
I'm quite interested to see the boy Dressers, and I want to see Buckland. Sorry.
Yeah,
and,
that's someone I'm looking forward to seeing, mate.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing him. I'd like to see the return of the boy that's just come back. God almighty, his name right in my mind. They just mentioned him a minute ago. Who's the one that's just come back to injury?
Tom Lawrence.
I'm really looking forward to seeing him. He had a really hard time with the injuries. And of course, the other guys, Lammers, I think somebody mentioned Lammers. Really and truly, I'm looking for. Who's the boy that came from? No Norwich. How old is it? How old?
Kieran Dowell.
Dowell. Right. So all of these guys, I'm really looking forward to seeing them. Might not see all of them tomorrow night, for instance, but I'd like to see some of them, and I'm sure the crowd will be very excited with myself. I'm really and truly looking forward to it, and I hope we beat them.
I think there'll be about 20 odd players involved, Jaffa. So you'll see most of them if they're all fit, and some people might only get the last 10 minutes, and depending where they are and their fitness, i.e., Roof, Lawrence, etc. They might not get any minutes depending where they are, but there'll be at least 20 players involved, if no more, mate.
I would have thought so, Oxide. They'll all get a run out. I mean, all the guys that are fit and healthy and ready for the pre-season that they've undertaken. I know Raskin's no long come back from his holidays, because he was playing the Euros with the under-21s, so he's had an extended holiday.
If you were Michael Raskin, would you come back your holidays? Would you come back?
Never mind Nico Raskin. It's Danilo. It's Danilo Piera Loyal. I'll be setting up shortly. If you think that one's good, wait to see this one.
Right, we'll see. Right.
That short answer is no. I would not come back my holidays. No.
I've had problems getting you off a sunbed before.
Now, you said what happens in Spain stays in Spain.
Just as well for me, innit?
Indeed.
Right, so, it's going to be interesting and great to hear people's thoughts. particularly Alan McGregor. Come and join us, 0141 356 1972. Not a lot of people get testimonials at our club, GB, so it's a big thing.
Ox, massive. It's been a long time coming for some players. You know what I mean, like you think about it, I can't honestly remember the last one to mind.
The last player to get a testimonial. That's a good question. I think about it, right?
And to be honest, Ox, as the years have went on, there probably should have been ones in there that probably did deserve one. But again, Alan is came right through the youth system and stuff like that. He's been a great servant, great professional, and like I say, deserves it. And by the way, where the money's gone and stuff like that, a great gesture with Newcastle as well. I think even the cost of watching the game on the telly and stuff like that, I think Newcastle have matched the same price as that as well. So it's just a big tick of the box that everybody's working together for a fantastic night. And this is perfect send-off for Alan. I hope he goes and enjoys it. It was funny seeing him come into training and the guys like that says, "Oh, welcome back." And he says, "Well, I was back last week." I mean, he's still got that kind of joker in him and stuff like that, and you can see that the players, they take to him because he was in that dressing room, the changing rooms and stuff like that, getting ready. And yeah, I think you've seen Davies come up to him and shake his hand and that. And so again, he'll be fondly remembered, Ox. And the question is, like, what saves do you remember him? Do you remember him doing better saves his second time round or his first time round? There's that many to choose for, that he's been pivotal in so many important moments.
I mean, his two performances that stick out for me is both away from home in Europe. Werder Bremen in 2007-8 season and Red Star in 2021 season, yeah? Was that right? No, 21-22.
I mean, that's right.
21-22, yeah. 21-22, yeah. So, the two performances for the top of my head stick out, but ultimately, top goalie, really consistent for us. They were at both extremes of his career, Jaffa, but outstanding performances. He won the ties as a goalkeeper pretty much single-handedly.
Oh, I mean, Ox. I mean, there's that many, but yeah, there's some performances in particular, the Werder Bremen one, and that save in particular you're talking about, that header. That guy to this day still doesn't know how that header from Red Star never went in. That and from that, the last kick of the ball that game, what a save that was, unbelievable. But there was so many. Alan McGregor, done that on a regular basis, especially in Europe, where he did seem to always, bring out the best in him. Maybe because we're under a bit more pressure, but brilliant goalkeeper. Absolutely one of the best goalkeepers that I've ever seen live at Rangers. His shot stopping in particular was...
Oh, we lost Jaffa. We're over there. You there? GP?
I'm here, mate. I know the saves, Ox. I mean, I think what we're looking for with our next goalkeeper with Butland is that it's all right maybe turning up for the games against Motherwell and stuff like that, but see when you look at McGregor, like we've touched on there in Europe, he's turned up in big games, he's made some very, very important saves, and then see when you look at his Old Firm performances, he's always usually turned up in them as well. Ox, big important saves at important times. I would say during 55, he was probably one of the leaders in that dressing room that drove us to 55. Considering, remember, he had that absolute outburst after Hamilton. He was basically going off his head because of the way the performance was that day and stuff like that. Again, that guy is in the dressing room showing them what it means to be a Rangers player, and it'll be hard to replace that kind of energy and passion. And I really hope that Butland, the more a night, gets to see what you can become at Rangers, like legend wise. You know what I mean? You'll see how the fans can love a player.
I think Alan McGregor will start and Jack Butland will get the second half, Bridge.
Yeah, I'm hoping so. I hope he gets on anyway. And yeah, McGregor must come out and take the pitch. And yeah, I think from a testimonial perspective, forgive me, but I'm going to have a wild guess. I thought it was Bomber Brown. I thought Bomber was the last one to get a testimonial. But I could be wrong, of course, So forgive me. I'd love to see Butland taking over from Alan McGregor, maybe around about half time, and let's see what he's got, because he's got a lot to live up to. All the goals that you have mentioned, I've watched him at Ibrox having some absolutely outstanding performances, and that actually carried us through when we're maybe winning 2-1. These kind of things. He's got great saves against Aberdeen, just at the death and all that. Wonderful stuff. And his penalty saves were to die for. They're just fabulous. It created so much passion among the Rangers fans, and they will love him to bits. His great songs they sung about him and things like that. No, he's somebody that's Rangers through and through, and he probably always will be. And we'll probably find he's up watching the Rangers every other week at Ibrox for sure. That's what I think anyway. No, I'd like to see him tomorrow night.
I think I'm trying to think for them, and obviously Walter had a testimonial. Ian Ferguson, Alan McLaren, when he got injured to finish his career. Since then I don't think there's been many. I'm trying to think.
Have you been surprised, Ox, with some of the players who haven't had a testimonial? I mean, for me, I would probably say one that jumps out to me is probably Barry Ferguson. To be honest, I think he was probably one that should have had a good enough send off, and hopefully this has got to be a kind of the change of the tide, Ox, where we start recognising players that have gave a good service.
Barry came in and sort of came into the team in 97-98 season, under Dick Advocate. No, sorry, 98-99 season. Yeah, he came into the side. He played fleetingly under Walter the season before, but so he sort of came in and then obviously left us in 2003 GB. So he'd only 5 year ways as a first team player, first timer, and left and come back in 2005, and then had only 4 years before things. Let's just say there was an incident, and he left the club, so he didn't have the longevity. 5 year and 4 year,
Aye, to warm it. Aye.
Well, I suppose Alan's pretty similar, if you're honest, mate. I suppose he made his debut in about 2003, I think. And was raised for 9 years, then come back and then done another 5. So, I get your point, maybe. But he didn't. They used to say, "Are you back with us, Jaffa?"
Yes, sorry.
Yeah, I worried about you. I was about to phone. I was going to phone Jeremy Beadle, no 999. He used to say that 10 years was the sort of rule of thumb for a testimonial, didn't it?
Yeah, that was it. I guess, probably they're maybe taking an opinion now, but he's been back for so long. He came through the academy as a kid. He's been at Rangers all his life, as did Barry, of course, as well. And I agree, that's a fair point you have made there. Some I've not really given a lot of thought to, but when you think about it, he probably should have been recognised. Because it is important, and I think it's important for not just the club to recognise these guys and their contribution to the club, but the longevity and the length of time that they've spent at the club. I mean, I don't think any of us are questioning whether Alan deserves a testimonial. I don't think for a minute any of us are saying that, or any of the fans for that matter. I think Alan absolutely deserves his testimonial, and probably and some, to be honest, what he's given and what he's done for the club. And let's not be kidded, Ox. I think as well when he came back, I think Alan could probably have went elsewhere for more money, but he came back because he was needed, and I think that's a testament to the qualities of Alan McGregor and the kind of the classness of the guy. So no, I think McGregor's he's an absolutely brilliant Ranger, and I'll remember him for the rest of my days, and I'm sure many of us will. Looking forward to seeing him tomorrow night and seeing the fans acknowledge that. And I'm sure he's touched by it, because I think he's quite taken back with just how much support he's had.
Right, you three. get yourselves on mute, because we're going to have a tune.
I sailed the wild Atlantic, across the broad Pacific shore. I sailed around the stormy capes and I've heard the 40s roar. I've flied the Indian Ocean, I've sailed the China Sea, but there's a sea back home in Scotland, more than all the rest to me. It's the blue, blue, blue sea of my God. It's the greatest sight that I have ever seen. It's the blue, blue, blue sea of my God. And it's not on the really just there clean. No more I'll sail the 7 seas, no more I'll ever roam. No more I'll feel the urge again, I'm back where I belong. And fear of each Saturday, I'll join the mighty throng. With flags and banners all around, I'll proudly sing this song. It's the blue, blue, blue sea of my God. It's the greatest sight that I have ever seen. It's the blue, blue, blue sea of my God. And it's not something really ridiculously. It's the blue, blue, blue sea of my God. It's the greatest sight that I have ever seen. It's the blue, blue, blue sea of my God. And it's not something really ridiculously. And it's not something really ridiculously.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972? It's your show, it's your platform. Let's hear from you.
Well, back, gentlemen.
Yep, I'm all back.
Yeah. Aye. Well, hopefully the sunshine. A bit of rain coming in tomorrow to the west of Scotland, which is unusual. And hopefully the sun shines and the people get on the Ibrox, see the new side. It is a new side forming quite quickly under Michael Beale. GB.
Aye, Ox, I mean, we've done our business really well this pre-season, haven't we? We've got our, I mean, what's that, 7 I think it is in total. We've got 7 signings in, and we're only in the middle of July. Most teams are kind of hanging off, waiting to see what other players pop up and stuff like that, but you can tell the managers wanted these players in, especially with these pre-season games coming up, so I'm glad of that, and for what I can see, we're building quite a strong spine here, the squad, Ox, a new, fresh, attacking spine of the teams coming in. So it's going to be interesting to see how he does keep all the players happy. I mean, you're looking at that midfield, that is quite packed in there. There's got to be a lot of people wanting game time and stuff like that. So, but I think, as all the players have said in their interviews, the competition for places is a good thing. They all want it, and I think it pushes them to perform at their best each and every training session, and on obviously the park. So, I'm hoping we see a bit more of a structured team than Mora. I think that pre-season game in January was a bit all over the place. I think with some of the players that were put in, it would be good to maybe see the first half of maybe like I say, how he's got to fit all these new signings into the team.
Aye. Whatever happens tomorrow, I'm not read too much into it. It's really early in pre-season, Jaffa, but you just want to see individuals touch, how they pass the ball, how they move, and then you start forming a judgment on them. Yeah, no an overall judgment, but first impressions is vital, aren't they?
Absolutely, Ox, yeah. And I think it's as important for the players as well to get a feel in Ibrox, in the size of the stadium and the fans. But yeah, I mean, I don't think anybody's going to read anything into the game tomorrow night. But there usually is in these games. Listen, they're professional footballs. At the end of the day, the game will be played at pace, and it should be. But I'm not saying that any of the two teams are going to be going for it hammer and tongs. There's nothing in it. It is just a training match essentially, and it's a big game. It's a big occasion. But good to see the players. It's good to see how they approach the ball and how they look as a professional footballer. And there is always usually one or two players that shine through with their quality. They just do, whether it be Todd Cantwell or whether it be the big lad Sima or some of the guys that we've signed, Dressers or Lammers. But there'll certainly be a lot of players on show. As GB was saying, there's 7 new signings in already. Obviously, there's quite a few players have changed. So the squad's had an overhaul. There's no two ways about it. And with guys like Lawrence and Roof coming back as well, it can only be a good thing, provided they stay healthy. That's always the worry, coming back for big injuries. I have to say, seen a lot of stuff of Hadji as well on the training, and he looks as if he's really bulked himself up. We're doing gym work and stuff like that. He looks really, really well at himself. So, are we seeing a Yanis Hadji? Are we going to see him pushing on, or that's again as in like a new signing, because he never played any football last season for us, did he?
No, not really, mate. Some would argue he's not played much football for us, but that'll leave that to others. But listen, mate. If I genuinely believe if Hadji would have stayed fit 2 years ago, he'd have got his goals that would have been involved in goals. But under Gio's first season, would have got enough points to win the league. Just my points of view. Others may see it different. I'd be interested to see how he goes on. He needs to play for his career. That's a good point, Chapper, mate. He needs to start getting games, and it's nearly a couple of years ago since he played regular, GB.
Oxen, I don't think he is a player that's going to accept being on the bench a lot. He has got quite a bit of charisma about him and stuff, and I think he's professional enough and he'll understand if he's not starting every game. But I think if it continues that he's maybe right down the pecking order, I think he's another one that we could possibly see in the window either start to look to move on. Like I says, we are quite packed in that area, and there's rumours of even another midfielder coming into the club as well. So it's just where all these guys have got to get game time. But again, that's what our manager wanted, Oxy. He wanted competition. He's wanting players to fight for the shirt. And like I says, Hadji's not a bad player to have in that squad. I mean, he has proven that he can do a job for us, I mean, in the past. It's just what I says, he's missed a lot of football, and I says if he's not going to get a lot of game time, then it will just affect him. And again, I think he's just that type of player that he will start to look to move on, because I think he is a football man and he does want a career out of football.
Oh, there's the brand Hadji as well, Bridgeman. Eh?
Yeah, like the boy's been, everybody wishes him nothing but the best, and he's came back and he's had a couple of wee games for Rangers through that latter end of the season. Done no too bad, but I think it's a really good, shall we say, pre-season under his belt. You just don't know. It might just blossom. If not, then he's got the choice. Maybe December might say, I want to go, I can't do it, or whatever, But seriously, there is an awful lot of quality in that boy, and we've seen it in some of the games he played for us, particularly in Europe. Absolutely outstanding, great free kick taker, all of the things that we're talking about. But he just needs strength. He needs to get his strength back up and be able to carry himself the way he should. Just watch out for injuries. Can't afford them.
Anyway, we've been joined by Andrew from Leeds. Evening, Andrew.
Good evening, boys. Good to have you back.
Oh, Andy.
Hi, Andy.
Not bad. I hope you all had a decent summer, late enough. I hear a certain guy who 10 chins bought a new dicky both the last Friday night.
Let's just say the feedback in his trial wasn't great, Andy, so we might not get through
I'm just glad it's going. I'm just glad.
I was just going to say we've been in the transfer market, Andy.
Aye. I wonder how long he'll last.
I think he's with Scott Wright.
Say again, Ox.
He's with Scott Wright.
Oh, he's Scott Wright. Aye, but he's not got the hairstyle.
Oh dear, no.
I'm just glad. I'm glad it's back right enough. Though I'm looking forward to tomorrow night. See what we do. Nice clubhouse for the keeper, right? Send him on his way. So that'll be good. Then we'll get to see what these players are all about.
Testimonial. It's not a testimonial.
Aye, but although he's done his time and all that, I still think we'll miss him right enough. He was a big influence on the club, wasn't he? So I'll wish him all well in his future.
Season, mate. I don't know if he the influence for season in a positive light, mate.
No, I'm talking in general. The time he spent with her, I know last season he was. He couldn't get at the balls, could he? Let's be honest, right enough. But I hope he, whatever he takes his path in life, it works out for him. I like the big guy,
Me also, mate. Me also. GB.
Hi, Ox. Hi, Andy. I think for what he was, like I said, saying in his interview that the wee snippet we've seen today is that he's actually enjoying. He was saying there he's just enjoying life. I think. When you think about it, that how much he's had to commit to football in the last 20 years, and I think Alan will just be looking forward to getting out there, maybe playing a wee bit more golf, maybe enjoying a wee bit more of the kind of family time and stuff like that. I think he'll be looking forward to a wee break, and then again he'll probably go away and assess whether he wants to go down the kind of coaching route, or he might just be one of these guys that kind of pops in and out of Rangers for like a game or whatever to see how they're getting on and interviews. He might just walk away from football totally. I mean, to be fair, he's earned the right to do that because he's given so much to football and like I says, he's getting the perfect send off. He's getting a full house at Ibrox and Mora against, like I says, a decent team. I mean, like I says, Newcastle are going to bring an atmosphere with them with their fans and stuff like that. And like I says, I think him personally, he'll not get anything better out of that than all the money that's going to his charities that he's selected as well. I mean, he even came out in his statement and said that he was blown away that the Ibrox crowd have actually sold it out because, I mean, at the end of the day, it's as a testimonial. No, everybody will probably think it's worth turning up to, but it just shows you that the love that the fans have got for him, they're turning up and they've sold it out for him.
Andy?
Yeah, can't disagree with that right enough. It's a good attendance as well because up the road they're all on holiday now, aren't they? So there's many away as well. So it usually always dips, we don't break up till this week down here right enough. So I know they're under holidays back in, so that's a great crowd. But over a piece, he's been good for us. Yeah, like Gary just said there, he's had a long time in football, so yeah, that's good. Get a bit of family life and all that, and spend a bit of time with his wings and all that. That's good. But we move forward now, don't we? We see what this new keeper's going to bring to the team and the new players.
Are you happy how things are moving? Andy?
Well, I'm not going to comment. I like the look of Dessers. I don't know why, but I just like the way he talked. Seen the clips. Looks all right in them right enough, but you can't comment as yet till we see them, a few games. And I said I'd behave myself, so I'm not going to jump too quick because I usually get into trouble. So
I would reckon we're back on Thursday night, Wednesday night. There'll be somebody you don't like. What do you think, Jaffa?
We'll wait till the season gets underway. I'm sure Andy will. He's always got his good opinions, and he sees it really well and sees Rangers the way he sees it, and that's just what we all do as fans. It'd be great to think, Andy, they'll all come up to the. They'll come up to the mark and they'll all hit the ground running. But sadly, in football, that just doesn't happen. And there'll be some players who'll take to it take to us really well, and there'll be other players that'll you maybe expected to do well that have not done so well. But listen, I don't think the business is finished yet either, Andy. I think I still think there's a bit of movement in the squad. You know, I think there's still maybe going to be some work done in the defence, and by all accounts, if you look at some of the murmurings that are coming out of Holland more over the weekend there, I believe we're still interested in this other fellow who looks a real talent, I have to say. Yeah. Just going back to the Alan McGregor bit there, Alex, and you're talking about what he might do. I think we've got more chance of seeing Alan McGregor in the boardroom than we have in the dressing room. I think Alan's a very astute businessman in his own right, and I'm sure he's got plenty to keep him occupied.
Alan being passing his wisdom on to players, but maybe no on the park, off the park.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, we'll see where it goes. It's up to him, and we wish him all the best. Andy, going back to what you mentioned, the new players coming in. But you scoring it, obviously we've not seen them. We don't know who's good. We don't know who's going to not be so good. You don't know that. It might surprise you. But you've got to sign them and take a gamble. That's because that's what it is. It's a gamble. Are you happy with the business we've done with the piece, mate?
I'm happy that we brought new players in, and I'm happy that the players that have continuously failed, other than the 2 cups and the run in Europe, obviously, are going out the door, because every player has a time, and then the time's done, and then we move on. The Dessers one, I don't know. I think I like him. I don't know why, but there's just something about him. I don't think he's going to take any slaver off or anybody, so I hope it works for him. I mean, they're talking about, I know that Blue and them was talking about this guy in midfield, can't say his name now, but they reckon he's a powerhouse, and this guy they're trying to get for Feyenoord right enough. So, we've got to see. Hopefully, not all players, we've had bigger players and not what. So, some of these guys that we've never heard of might come in and they might shock us, and I hope that's the latter for me and everybody out there, that they do come in, hit the ground running. They've got to gel pretty quickly. That's the big problem. Relative to who's coming in at the moment, we have to hit the ground running, so that we're ready to go for the challenges that I hate. I think we can. I said at the end of last season, I don't know why, then that was before any of the players come up with any going. I've just got a funny feeling that we're not going to roll over this season. We're going to have a right good go at it. So I'll stick to that, and hopefully that comes right. Yeah, we're tired of not winning things. I think Bale's gone out and done that, in the sense he's definitely changing his team. I do think there'll be, as Jaffa said there, 3 out and another 3 in. I mean, the big rumour going around that I've seen there tonight is Kamara coming to Leeds. We got in touch with his son-in-law, and he said he's heard nothing but all the other sites seem to be saying that it's a done deal for him to go to Leeds. So,
yeah, you don't know, mate. You don't know. Watch this space. Agents play funny games at this time of the season. Yeah, interesting. Bridgman, going back to our point, I've tried to check it out, but I think Ian Ferguson was the last player to get a testimonial.
Now, you might be right, pal. It's just something in the back of my mind saying Bomber Brown was the last player to get a testimonial. That's just something in the back of my mind, so I really don't know. Not 100%.
I don't know if John did, but
round about 2000. Elkstead, round about 2000.
I'm not finding that, mate. John Brown's testimonial. Have a look.
I think it is Fergie. It was 3-1 against Sunderland.
Yeah, so, that's what I'm thinking. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah. Alan McLaren and his were in the same year. Yeah. But well, Andy, I think that's a good point you make. But you just need to wait and see. Yeah, players come, players go all the time, Some players you like leave, some players you're happy to see the back and they go on and have a good career, and you say, I wonder if we should have kept him. That's football, isn't it?
Well, it is, isn't it? I mean, at the end of the day, there's going to be one season or a couple of seasons where it comes our way, because it swings and roundabouts, and hopefully it's our time now. It's definitely going to be a new Rangers from what we've had right enough, because he's moving a lot of players on, which you know, it had to be done a couple of years ago, really, didn't it? But okay, it's gone now. You know what I mean? All the mumping and all that's gone. It's going forward now, and hopefully, I'm coming in and saying every week, well, like him, he's fantastic. That, you know, I mean, I hope we get that, like, you know, and then, you know, that will be great for everyone who's out there. But I think we will have a go this year. I said there, and I'll stick by that. I can't see us not having a go at this. We're going to have to, you know what I mean? We can't not. So, you know, come on, the Rangers, let's have it. Let's get it on and sort them out.
Oh, can I ask a question?
Yes, on you go, GB.
I was just wondering what your opinion is. Like, see the manager this season. Do you think, with the amount of players that we have got in the squad, that he will make more substitutions in the game? I mean, I think, like I says, with the amount of talent that we're going to have sitting possibly on the bench, I've got a funny feeling that he's going to use the bench a bit more this season rather than what he done last season.
Let's put it this way. Did he have faith in some of the players? They're not his players. They're not. Most of them are going to be his players, Jaffa. And it is now a 16-man game, Jaffa.
Yeah, I think that's a great point, the box you make, and I think it's a great point you make, Gary, too. I don't think he did have a lot of faith in some of them, you know, especially near the end. I think he realised what was going on, and obviously he'll be privy to a lot of all those conversations that were taking place, you know, players talking to agents and getting deals done. And as we say, that is football, but you know, it did affect the camaraderie, and it affected the squad. It does. There's just no two ways about it. We had far too many players out of contract at the one time. And let's hope again that's something that doesn't happen on players moving on. But I hope he does, Gary. I hope he has got more players and he trusts in the pool where we can change it. Whether he starts with dressers up front and he brings on Lammers or vice versa, or if this fella Danilo does, if we can get that deal over the line and we can get him in, you know, and the other fella, you know, that's playing over in the States. Cifuentes, if we can get that deal done, I believe we're still in talks with LA football team to get that deal done. All these guys they're all top players, you know, from the clubs that they're playing for. You know, they're not coming to us to sit on the bench, so they're coming to make a contribution. So from that perspective, then I hope he does.
Yeah, fair comment, mate. It's all part of the game, isn't it? The game's changed, Andy, yeah?
It's changing all the time, innit? You know me, I'd be back in the 70s right enough with a good tackle and all that, but that's the way we're going now, and that's, you know, it's this modern day footballer that they're called, isn't they? So hopefully, you know, they do come in and hit the ground running, as I said there. I'm looking forward to it, I really am. I mean, it seems to be in a long, close season, although it's not, they're not like they used to be. You know, when we were younger, like, they seem to go on forever, like, you know, there's always something going on. It reminds you, I've had no peace at all by a certain group, but I'll just leave it there on that one. So I'm glad the games are back now. But yeah, come on. Get the right players in, get the right balance, get the right mix.
That's
the thing.
All I'm saying to you, Andy, at least you never get caught cheating.
Right, okay. Well, I'll have to try and figure that one out.
At least you never get caught cheating. Yeah.
Cheating. Right, okay. Is it somebody on this panel tonight?
No, not on this panel. Let's just say he was on the panel on Friday night.
Oh, it's like, all right. I'm with you now. Aye. Aye. I thought he did all right, to be honest with you.
Oh, I can only go with the feedback.
Well, we'll see. We'll see, won't we? But
he'll be back with us.
I'm pretty sure of that, right enough. But yeah, let's get in the right balance with him. If we get them all clicking and they're all feeling. I'll tell you what come out of the training thing. They seem to be more together as players when you looked at the previous ones. These guys seem to be, you know, having fun and making getting a friendship there amongst them. And you get that, that's half the battle, isn't it? You know.
I don't know what you think. I'll go to you first, Andy, then Bridgeman. Cantwell seems to be the leader of our team very quickly. That's the impression you get, isn't it?
Yeah, it comes across that way, doesn't it? It seems to all, centre towards him. I like him, and I think I'm not sure he could be captain material, but you never know, do you? You know what I mean? Down the track right enough, But I do like him, and he seems to have really got us, doesn't he? He understands what's going on up there, to be honest with you. I always said that last season, right enough. He gets, what the carry on that's going outside of Rangers and what certain people and what the authorities think about us up there. And that's a great asset to have, you know what I mean? He wants to do well for Rangers. And he pats that on him. And young Raskin, I'm looking forward to him, Ox, because I think he wasn't quite match ready, was he, last season? So if we can get him up to speed, I think he could do it, be a good weapon for us as well. Don't know what you think on that one.
Aye, we'll see where it goes with Raskin. I'll take that after we talk about Cantwell. Bridgeman Cantwell seems to be a sort of leader, or one of the leaders now at the club quite quickly. So, GB.
Sorry.
I was going to say, sorry, Paul, thank you very much. Young Cantwell, he's like a lot of guys, when they're one man stands up in a crowd of boys, he gets the name and the reputation because they stand up for whatever he thinks right, and people admire that. Not saying he's the best fighter, and I don't mean that, just he's in there. You watch him in the pitch with Rangers, and he's where the trouble is, he's in there. Whether any of the players are in trouble, he'll be there. And that's what I love about him. And obviously I love his football as well. Great player. And for a tall, slim lad, he's not the best built guy in the whole world, but he doesn't care. He's right in there. He's in people's faces, which is great. Doesn't mean he'll make him a really good captain or anything like that.
No, I'm not saying that at all, Bridge.
It's a good chance, but it's a good chance.
I'm not saying that at all, but, GB, in you come.
I was just going to say that I think Cantwell's shown that because he's been new into the squad, he's been able to help the players that have been signed during this pre-season integrate into the squad really well. I mean, I've seen him sitting a lot with Butland and stuff like that. I think that would have been great for him to try and get Butland settled in and stuff like that. And you see him, he's always kind of run all different players, so you can see that he's moving around. He's not like sitting in like one group all the time. So again, I think he's just trying to. I think he's trying to help the cause, Ox. You know what I mean? Like, I think he sees the vision that our manager's got, that if we all work together, we're going to be successful. And I think he's embraced that 100%. And as Andy's touched on, he's got a total understanding of Rangers very, very quickly. And I think he's trying to pass that on to the new players, the demand that's going to be there for them, how it's going to be playing at Ibrox and stuff like that. I think, again, brilliant to have in the dressing room so early on in his career at Rangers, because if you think about it, Ox, we have lost a lot of guys that have been kind of Rangers men. I mean, and for Cantwell to only be in the door for such a short period of time, you feel as though you've not really lost that experience. You've already got a guy in there that knows Rangers in a sense. So, more of that, please. And like I says, I think he will be a driving force in that team this season.
Jaffa.
Only for the fact that I know the transfer window's still opened, and I know this show goes out live in Saudi Arabia. I don't think he's up to much, quite frankly. Cantwell, I don't. I'm not sure. I'll talk to you after the transfer window's shut. Because I think Todd Cantwell's on a serious note. I think he's brilliant, Ox. I think he's absolutely brilliant.
I nearly fell off my chair there. I was like, what is going on?
That was a gag here, GB. That was a gag. You might have missed that.
I've got
no,
it now.
I think he's it.
I'm not saying it was a good gag, GB, but it was a gag.
It was a gag of sorts. No, but the transfer window is still open, and this show does go out live in Saudi Arabia. I think he's brilliant, Ox. I think he's amazing. I really rate Todd Cantwell in every sense here. I think, going back to the conversation we were having earlier on about players like Scott Wright, just no getting into Rangers or Rangers no getting into him. Todd Cantwell's the complete and utter opposite here. He's only been here for 6 months. The guy looks as though he's been here for a couple of years. I think he's totally committed. And on top of that, I think he's an absolutely brilliant footballer. I think he's the team will be, as always, plays much better when Todd Cantwell's in the team. And I think his fitness got better and he started picking up game time and minutes. I think he got better. And I'm absolutely sure we'll see the best of him next season. I think he's a tremendous footballer. Can you ask Fox to cut that bit later on, please?
Fox has just said it wasn't a gag, but you made him gag. Jaffa, you're also enjoyed Nico Raskin's time at the club, aren't you? I don't like got it that
again much. I think he's a player as well, Ox. I think he'll be a lot better for the pre-season. I think he showed glimpses, maybe not quite as much as what Todd Cantwell did last year. But I think he's a tremendous footballer. I think he's cultured. I think he sees stuff that other guys don't see. And I think the midfield, with the two of them having a pre-season under their belt, been away in Germany and going back to this with the manager and the type of players, and it's the one bit that Michael Beale's not had a chance to do yet is the coaching bit in the background, where he's very good at strategically building. That's what I'm only telling you what I've read about him and what other professionals have said about Michael Beale. He's an analyst. He analyses numbers and he analyses players and their ability to play in different positions. And he's not had that chance to do that. This is the first chance he's had to do it. With his first main transfer window. I know he got 2 players in January, but that wasn't enough to change anything. So it's big for everybody, Ox, but none more so than Michael Beale and the players that he's brought in. So the players got to the team's got to get an identity back, because for so long there under Gio, we just seem to have lost our way and what we were all about, and all that good stuff that was done under Gerrard seemed to be become undone. That identity we had as a team and the way we played. So I'm excited for that point about Raskin and Cantwell next year.
Yes. Andy.
Yeah.
We're building. The team's evolving quicker than I thought it would, if I'm being honest. And it's going to be interesting to see what the best 11 is. I don't know if I can name that at the moment, and I don't know if that's a bad thing.
No, if you're going to look at it that way, it's different, because it's also different to the other teams that were coming up, because, we're kind of predictable over the last 2 or 3 years, weren't we? So we're coming with a fresh new ideas on a different team. So we hit the ground running. It could put us on the front foot and get them on the back foot, if you get what I mean. I think the first 4 games, in my opinion, are all winnable. I know that sounds daft, really, because it's new players and all that, but I'm looking for definitely 9 out of the first 3 games, and then obviously beating them in the 4th. And then if we can do that, get a 3-point lead on them, get their fans on his back, because half of them don't want him there. It's all about psychology and everything else. But it's a new team that you'd like to think these guys coming in are going to want to impress themselves. Like they've got the ground there, they've got the support, they've got the tradition, they've got everything. Come and join us and come and embrace it, and then explode pressure bell on the game and on the fans, and we could have a great season. That's how I'm looking at it. It's all gone, as I said earlier on. It's gone what's gone now. We are where we are. We know what the situation is now. Now it's up to us to start, coming out and being the Rangers that we know, and start winning and, playing some nice football along the way as well. See, on the Gio one that you just said there, see when you look back right to that, and that's not having a go at it, when you look right back, that style of player that he brought into Scotland was never going to work. Our game's physical, hard, rugged. It just wasn't going to work. and certain players, some of them are gone now, did down tools on him, which that was evident. I don't think he should have made the statement after the Ajax game when he said, well, what do you want me to do with these? They're more or less keep. I don't think that helped, but it's gone now. Bale, he's the man that's going to take us forward, hopefully. I'm still not sure about him right enough, but I'll hold my hands up when he wins trophies and all that. I'll praise him right enough, but I think he talks too much at times. Somebody needs to help him out there a wee bit. But we go forward now. It's his players, and we'll see where it takes us. Hopefully, we'll do the business this year.
You know, like people that talk too much, Andy, no?
Say that again.
You know, like people that talk too much.
Aye, well, okay, you can say that about me, but I'll tell you what. If I say something on week 1, I'll say it on week 6. I'll not change my mind every week.
Oh, brilliant. But good question, Oxy. Good question there.
Just ask the question.
Brilliant.
GB.
I was just about to say, Ox, I think Andy's got to be brilliant on this last man standing that we are preparing in the background. It's going to be interesting to see how Andy changes from week to week. So
it's going to be a puzzle. He's only got one team left. I can guess that.
I'm looking for a new favourite player, right enough though, because there isn't many left now that I like.
The last player he liked was David Meikle, John Jaffa.
Willie Woodburn.
Willie Woodburn. Well, see, going back to what you're saying, though, Andy, I do on a serious point about Michael Beale. I do absolutely 100% agree with you on that one. I think he could be doing with somebody. I don't know if he can talk to somebody in the background, or I'm not doubting Michael Beale's coaching ability, but the media side and the management side, I think something that could be doing with a wee bit of polishing and a wee bit of certainly just saying less. Less is more sometimes. I've taken a leaf out of Walter Smith's book.
Jaffa, there's a difference between a coach and a manager, and that's what I'm meaning. You know what I'm getting at?
Yep.
You know.
Aye.
Aye, the game's evolved, but Andy, it's the way players are treated now compared to what they were, and the generations you talk about, it's night and day, isn't it?
Oh, aye.
Night and day, But we'll see what it takes. Are you sensing excitement, Andy?
Am I what?
Are you sensing excitement? Do you feel as if we're moving in the right direction?
I feel there's a buzz about the place, but like I say, it's easy to have. It's easy to have it's easy to have a buzz around the place before you kick the ball. It's when you start having hard times, which all teams get across the season, how they handle it, and that's what I'm more intrigued about. As I say, we're bringing a lot of players, and the only downside to that is, we do have to hit the ground running, and it's whether they can come in and handle playing in front of a crowd. If they can handle playing in that shirt, and I can't say anything now because I never even heard of them before they come up. I'll be honest with you, but so you just hope that they come good. I know that Blue seems to be going on about this midfielder from that American mob saying that he's a real powerhouse. So I hope that to be the case, and I hope that the striker that they're bringing in is going to hit the goals. But the only thing that worries me with South Africans, they don't seem to make it in Scotland. They don't seem to like the weather and things like that. Hopefully this is the one that will go against the grain if he comes in and hits the ground running,
Who's that?
The one, is it a South American guy or is it an Ecuadorian or whatever his name is?
It's Brazilian.
The Brazilian, the Brazilian, aye.
You're
GB,
bringing Africa to Brazil there.
GB, you like a Brazilian, don't you?
No.
Oh, aye. I always like a Brazilian.
Football player.
Right.
Football player to be.
What is that, Ox? Sorry.
football player, you've all got to lower the tone.
Oh, aye, of course, aye. Because all these South Americans are brilliant. You mean, as Andy says, that there's got to be players coming in. But I think, by the way, Ox, you touched on it at the start of the show. I mean, Tom Lawrence. I seen a picture the other day. Cantwell, Raskin, and Lawrence all standing together, right? And clearly they're training together. But you imagine, I mean, if somebody had to say to you that's your midfield. That's a dangerous midfield you've got there, and then like I says, if you're adding your front line of Seema, Lammers, and Dessers, I mean that is enough to start getting you excited. It's just the defence, Ox. I still think there's a wee bit of work needed and done still at the back. I'm quite happy with how the middle's shaping up in the front, but the back still seems to be a bit of last season still lingering about it, and it will be interesting to see how that shapes up, considering the rumours that are swirling around, and we've had injuries at the back as well so far this season. So it's that's a bit I'm just kind of concerned about, that we need to do a wee bit of work in before the start of the season.
Aye, I'd be interested to see if there's any movement there. Some people would say we need a centre half. We bought Liam Balogun. I think that. What did you think of that move, Jaffa?
I mean, I think it's just a straight cover situation, isn't it, Ox? I mean, obviously, Leon's got a long-term injury, you know, and obviously I think he knows him and he trusts him. I don't for a minute think that Balogun is coming in to start, Ox. I think he'll be there as cover. I mean, don't get me wrong, Balogun as well, he's got a great attitude. He's, you know, he did play 16 games last year, and he did have an injury as well for QPR. But I mean, he done all right down there. I mean, you know, he came in and done what was asked of him, what was required of him. But I think his cover, Ox, I think it's a reasonable signing. He was available on a free. I think it made perfect sense, and they know each other. And I think Leon still got I think he's still got a property and stuff up here. So I think it made sense for all parties, and he speaks very highly of our club. I'm not saying that's any reason to give him a contract. I don't mean that for 1 minute. But I mean, I think he's still got a bit of football in him, and I think as a central defender, he's decent cover to have on the bench. But I don't for 1 minute think he's going to be a starter. And I agree with what GB just said there. And I like what he was indicating. I'd like to see another centre half come in, possibly even a bit more defensive cover. And I still think that's an area that's going to get a bit of attention. Going back to the Brazilian boy, Ox, you were talking about there, the only advantage with the fella that they're looking at, the boy over in Holland, is that he's been in Ajax Academy. He came through the Ajax Academy. He's lived in Holland for a long period of his life, through most of his footballing life, although he is Brazilian, you know, and he was born in Brazil, but he's lived in Europe for a long period of time. So I think adjusting to European football is neither here nor there. He's played for Feyenoord as well, so you know, he came through the Ajax Academy. I think that's probably one of the reasons why they're going for him, is because his background and his upbringing and where he's been studying his football.
Andy, do you think people, and then Bridge, do you think people find it strange that we're going for players who've got a Dutch connection this year when we got a Dutch manager? We've never seen it be
Yeah, I said that to Shugs last week. Like I said, we couldn't get one Dutch player under Gio, and then we're looking in that direction. Now I can't understand that one. But like if he comes in, Jaffa's made a good point. I was thinking, as soon as he was saying it, I was thinking, he's probably right there. The guy has stayed over in Europe, so he'll be used to the climate and all that kind of thing, you know, the kind of weather and all that. So yeah, it's. I would just say that Scottish football is different from anybody else. I know that our teams up there are pants now, and the quality is not as good as what we watched back in the day, where we had many Scots down in the English school division and that. But it's murder ball up there, isn't it? They kick, gouge, and everything else. It's whether a guy's strong enough to stand up with that mentality. But look, if he comes, he will. I'm pretty sure. And look, he starts scoring goals, then it doesn't matter what league you're playing in, does it? You know what I mean? That's the trick. All strikers, they go through lean spells, but if they can get off to a good start and, you know, get the confidence up, then we can go forward. So, yeah, definitely need a top-notch centre half in, because I like Suter. I've always liked Suter, as I've said it before. I think he's the best defender that we've got at the club. It's whether we can keep him fit. So you need that. Golston's going to, he's going to pick up injuries now because that's been more evident since he took the badge in there. Well, I looked out about Tavernier and embarrassing because I said it'd be good. So let's just bring in another centre half. Right? See, I'm doing well here. I'm doing well. But yeah, like we said, we don't know, do we? We really don't know. I mean, this is going to be the fascinating part about the pre-season games and then the first league game and the first qualifier. Oh, can I ask you a thing? See, if we don't do well in the qualifiers in the Champions League, do we have to still qualify for the UEFA League, or do we go straight into that?
We're in the second stage, yeah, so it depends whether we need to get to the next one to go straight into it. Yeah, we'll get 2 ties to get through, yeah.
Yeah, right, okay.
That's my understanding, mate. I haven't checked that out. That's for the top of my head, mate. Yeah, Bridgeman, Dijon Sterling, yeah. Is he there to cover both fullback positions?
I think so, yes. I think he's going to be sort of both sides. And some of the players we've had in the past have been able to do that. So it'd be nice to see someone able and have the quality to do it. I think that the guy you mentioned earlier, Big Balogun, coming back, I never wanted him to leave. I thought he'd been a great stand-in. Obviously, need to make sure his wages were right, but I think he's jumped at it 2 feet straight back into Rangers. And there you go, that young lad's injured. So there's a good chance he's going to get the odd game. He's not going to get many games, that's for sure. No many games. But the Sterling guy, definitely. He's going to be a good fullback for us, either side.
Yeah, you've seen it, Jaffa, then GB?
Yeah, I think Sterling is definitely coming in. I mean, he said that in an interview. Ox, that was his position. He wasn't a centre back. That wasn't his job. He can play left or right full back. So he's there for cover. But that Bassey done that job as well. And look what happened there. There's also the possibility we could go to playing a 3 at the back, which a lot of people and a lot of fans have been speculating about. That would certainly and definitely Ibrox would be something we would like to see more of, because it would allow us to squeeze a bit more into the middle of the park and push up onto teams, especially the ones that are camped in. So I don't know if maybe Michael Beale's seen Sterling as part of that 3, Ox, because he's got great mobility. He's got that strength. He's 23. He's not a kid. Dijon Sterling, he's a good upbringing, as far as his football background coming through Chelsea. But I don't think anybody can break through into the Chelsea team nowadays. Ox, in fact, I don't think any player, really young player, can break into any English Premier League team nowadays because of the amount of size of squads they've got and the kind of luxury of players that they've got. The quality of players that they've got. I think that's why they farm out so many players out on loan. So, I don't know much about the lad, Ox. I'm not going to pretend. I've only seen what everybody else has seen.
No.
And I think even to be fair to the lad, he's not played enough first-team football. You've got to judge Michael Beale on this one and say he obviously knows more about him. But I still would like to see. I would like to see, Bridges' description of a gorilla in there. I know what he's getting at. And I would too would like to see a starter centre back Ox coming in there as well for cover.
Right, who's making all the noise? GB, in you come.
I think he is there for cover, Ox, but I would say more so on the right side, considering his interview. I think he was saying that he's not too bored that it's his captain. It's in that side of the pitch. He's there to challenge, and I think the boy came up to Rangers to stake a place, Ox. I don't think he's came here just to make up the numbers for the way he's talked. Fortunately, he's had that wee niggle there now, and hopefully that will pass quite soon, and he'll get a bit of game time during these games that's coming up. I think, like say, the left side's well covered now as it stands at this time. With Borner and Ridvan. I think, like I says, we'll possibly see more of Sterling. Like you say, either the back 3 or, like I says, pushing Tav, maybe giving Tav a rest in certain games.
There's no chance that Bonner could leave, as has been rumoured, and then he becomes big cover for Ridvan as well.
I think so, mate. Like I said, I was more like on this present moment, but if Borner does leave, in the speculative money that's getting touted, I think again it would be good business for Rangers to move Borner on. I think we do need that freshness at the back. So, I'm all for it, Ox. But again, flip side of that is that if Bourne are in Advanced Day, then I'll be happy as well because it will strengthen us. You know what I mean? So it's good to have that option. It's good to have a player that's quite versatile at the back. We've not had that in a long time.
Right, it's a yes or no answer. If it's rumoured to be true, but Bond are moving, would you keep him? Yes or no? Jaffa.
No.
Bridgeman.
No.
GB.
No.
I'm not even going to ask you, Andy, because you know you don't like any players.
Well, you'd be right.
Straightforward, that one.
It'll be a sad day for you if Bonner goes, won't it?
Oh, me? Oh, aye, yes. I think so. Tell me when he's leaving, I'll drive him down.
I think there's sense in it, but it'll be interesting to see if that pans out. Jeff, in it.
I think it would be sensible, Ox. Again, he's in the last year of his contract, so I mean, I know it's up to a lot of fans that Morelos and Kent just walked away and we never get anything for them. So Bourne falls into that category. I mean, he's 30 years old now, Ox, so probably, if you were going to give him an extension, it's going to be a year max, probably 2. And even then, I think you're getting into territory that makes people uncomfortable. So if he's in the last year of his contract and there's money there to be had for him, even if it's £1 million or £1.5 million, and by all accounts there's some clubs interested down in England, then he's served as well, Ox. Again, he goes with our best wishes, decent footballer. But if we can get £1.5 million back for him and reinvest that into the team, then brilliant. Then it's the right decision to make, as far as I'm concerned.
I don't think you'd be alone in that thinking, Jaffa. I don't think you'd be alone. So, right, the last few minutes of the show, we'll go back to tomorrow night's match and we'll wish Alan McGregor all the best. Andy.
Yeah, I think they might go the other way and bring him on in the second half, to get the send off. But you're probably right as fact of starting him right enough. But
I think he'll start and then he doesn't do the second half and then he gets himself ready because he's got to be on the corporate and speak to people after the game, so he's ready. Yeah. Right.
Yeah,
that's my rationale.
You're probably right. I would have liked it the other way than to see him getting the all applause of the stadium right enough. His last act as he comes off the park for the last time. It would be nice to see him getting in that, but he'll probably get that anyway. Like you say, he does what you're saying. For me, he's been a great servant at Rangers. I know he's confused out there saying that he left us and that when we had the troubles and all that, but you can't. That guy's he's Rangers, so that is what it is. And for me, he's been a great servant. I still think the goal is still the number one, but he run him pretty close in my opinion.
Yeah, I think.
Thanks for the memories. That's what I will say.
I think when he left in 2012, he left with our best wishes. It was the people leaving the club. Mm-hmm. It was how they left the club that was the issue.
Yeah,
Jaffa, then GB.
Yeah, I mean, exactly, Ox. It was some certain things that were said and stuff like that a lot of the fans haven't forgotten. And I think, to be honest, you're right in that opinion. To be honest, if we were all hurting at that point, we didn't need any more, doings or kickings. But listen, going back to tomorrow night, Ox, just to echo what Andy was saying there, absolutely. Thank you very much to Alan McGregor personally for the amount of brilliant nights you've given us over the last 20 odd years of your career at Rangers, but the gap that you were away. But even then, Ox, when I lived down in England, I did go to a couple of Hull games because I didn't live too far from him and watched them. And he was absolutely outstanding even then when he was playing for Hull. So brilliant footballer, great Ranger for me. Epitome of being a Rangers player. And wish him well in whatever he goes on to do in his life, and wish him nothing but health and wealth.
GB.
I just echo it, really, Ox. I think he lived the dream. He came back to help us, and if you think about it, his time that he has came back, he's won 55. He's went to another European final, and he's got another Scottish Cup under his belt and stuff like that. So I think, like, overall, he's contributed. He's helped the club get back to where we were meant to be, especially like the Champions League, etc. and all that. And he's leaving us in a better place that he left the first time round.
And you gave him that Scottish Cup winners medal.
Of course, he made an appearance. It's all about making sure you look good, Docs, especially if Scott Wright can do it. But like I say, it's just great send off for him.
Yeah, Bridgeman, fitting send off. Bridger.
Oh, absolutely. I'll be there tomorrow night, and God willing, of course, I'll be there, and I'm sure that 50,000 and more will be there for Alan McGregor. What a servant he's been for us. Everybody's got great memories of what he's done. But seriously, tomorrow night it's going to be fabulous for him. I'm hoping that he comes on in the first half. He'll come on at the end with his suit on and so on and so forth, whatever. And it's going to be brilliant. It's just going to be brilliant. The fans love him. They just love him. For all the things he's done for Rangers and the goals, superb. Really brilliant. And I just wish him, like the guy said, I just wish him all the best. Yeah, there's nothing bad I would ever say about Alan McGregor, really. Nothing. Wish him all the best.
Well, gentlemen, we've reached that time of the evening. Andy, cheers, mate.
It's been a pleasure. It's good to have you back, and glad to hear all your great points again, like we're doing.
Carolina Ocean packed for Lanzarote, mate.
I don't need nothing, because I'll tell you, I'll go out there as white as a ghost, and I'll come back as white as a ghost. I don't sit in no sun. I find a chilled bath, and that's where I stay all day. No, I don't like this one. I'm sure they're trying to kill me up. They keep taking me out there. I keep telling them I don't want to go abroad, but they could take no notice. I'm not like enough. But no, there'll be no sunburn for me.
I'm sure you'll enjoy it, mate.
Aye.
GB.
Aye, brilliant shocks. It's good to hear everybody being optimistic about the season ahead and stuff like that. And then again, it all starts tomorrow night, Ox. This is the start of the pre-season games, and we're getting that bit closer at the start of the season, bud.
You here, Jaffa?
Yep, thanks for having me on, Ox. Thanks to being on with GB and Bridge, and good to hear from Andy as well. And as we say, we are the people.
Yeah. The one and only Bridgeman.
Well, what can I say? Ox, it's been a fantastic night. Absolutely brilliant to be back. I'm glad the place is back. It's buzzing, let me tell you. I'm really happy. And a big thank you to the boys in the background, to your boys, and of course the guys in the GB and that Jaffa. So really and truly, what a team. Thanks for being with us tonight. And to all the Rangers fans all over the world listening in here on Rangers Radio, everybody, keep it going for the Rangers, because the Rangers really need us. Big season ahead. Keep it going.
Thanks to Andy for joining us, Jaffa, GB and Bridgeman for doing the show, Fox and Old School Blue for doing the technicals, and of course we have to thank Alan McGregor for all the memories. This has been Rangers Radio. We'll be back on Wednesday night, and we'll have a look back at Alan McGregor's testimonial between 8 and 10. Thanks for joining us. Take it away, Old School Blue.